I'm going to go through the week 4 matchups just to steal from your show, Mike, since you guys aren't doing one. And let's just get some quick predictions. Do we do spreads? Is it more fun to do spreads, or do we just do money line bets here? Let's just do the matchups.
Yeah.
Cowboys are playing the Giants tomorrow in the Thursday night game. Bobby, I'll let you go first on this one. Who wins?
Cowboys win. If not, I think McCarthy is officially actually on the hot seat. I know we joke about it, but if the Cowboys,
he's already on the hot seat for sure. He's on the hot seat.
But if they actually lose this game to the Giants, heads are rolling in Dallas.
I think it's going to be a big week for our rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors. I think that he's looked really, really good, and I think he
has
the exact kind of guy that can tear up what's going wrong in Dallas. I agree with you.
Heads roll if they lose, though.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's going to be pretty bleak, Mike. It depends on the odds. I mean, but if you gave me over 250 on the Giants, I'd probably bite your hand off for it, to be honest.
5.5, but I mean, we're just the money line. I mean, I'm taking Dallas. 5.5 is still a little bit too low for me to even take the Giants too. So
you think because I guess it makes sense. If the Cowboys win, they're going to win by 2 scores. But if they
can't run the ball, so it's going to be all through the air.
They're not going to scrape it. You know what I mean? They're either going to fuck it up, or they're going to just get the job done.
They might be able to run the ball if they're not down 14-0 immediately.
No,
I mean, people are pretty low on baseball, but
you never know.
I feel
Bobby, have they run the ball well all year?
They haven't had a lead all fucking year.
They don't have a good running back, Bobby.
They don't have a running back.
They
beat the Browns 33-17 in week 1, and they rushed for their leading rusher ran for 40 fucking yards. What do you mean they haven't had a lead all year?
All right, whatever.
Look, there's a bigger chance that Dallas could lose this Thursday night game than any of us are comfortable with. I think that's fair to say.
I'm quite comfortable with it.
They're not going to run very well for the rest of the year
because
they didn't go and get a running back. They, for some reason, got Ezekiel Elliott because they, I don't know, missed his fucking potluck dinners. I have no idea. I don't know what they watched of him on the Patriots that made them go yeah, that's our guy. But here we are. The Bengals are playing the Panthers. I think, the Bengals bounce back, right? This is a get it fixed game. They at least win this game, and we can kind of at least put a pin in the Bengals conversation over the next week before they start losing again. Mike, we're agreed there. Bobby, you got Bengals, Panthers.
Yeah, Bengals.
Okay, Saints, Falcons. I think this is going to probably be the nail in the coffin for the Saints season, would be my instinct. I still think they could probably go flat track bully some lesser teams, but I think the Falcons have kind of gotten better and better. They're starting to use those skill positions a little bit better. Looked a little sluggish coming out of the gates, especially Kirk Cousins and his movement, but he started to look like regular season Kirk Cousins a little bit more with pretty decent skill players, and it seems like a decently well-coached team this year. So I think the Falcons are going to notch up another win, but then again, Bobby was pretty high on that Saints offense across the first 2 weeks. If they look that electric again, then we need to really seriously revisit the conversation about New Orleans, I think, right?
I think this is going to be a conversation between these two teams that we're going to have a lot this year. I think
I think it might be over after this week, and the Falcons.
No, I think the Falcons are going to be one of those teams that are also lingering around number 10 and number 9 on the power rankings a lot this year, along with
didn't make it this week.
1 and 2. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, fair. No, I agree. I mean, again, on the eye test, I do think that the Falcons look pretty decent.
They're getting better.
They are getting better.
They are getting better. For sure.
They're one of the teams that's demonstrated.
I got the Saints, by the way.
You got this. That's interesting. All right, we'll have to revisit
I got
that.
the Saints.
You have Falcons. I have Falcons. Mike, Bobby's got Saints. Okay, cool. Jags, Texans. Has to be a get right game for the Texans. Has to be. They have to win. We are having a serious and extended conversation about the fate of the Houston Texans if they lose this, quite frankly, turgid, terrible Jaguars team. This is the Doug Peterson fire game, I think. This is the one that gets him fired. I think he goes before McCarthy, and he goes before, obviously, Sirianni, because Sirianni has a winning record. Anyone disagree?
No.
Great.
No.
Broncos, Jets. Interesting. Broncos haven't come up so far on the show.
Jets are going to smoke them, DK.
Got it.
You think so?
Got it.
The Broncos just smoked the bunk. The Broncos just smoked.
You did say the Bucs were good, and
right?
They just smoked the Bucs. So if we're doing football math, I don't think the Broncos are good. I don't think the Jets are as good as they look last week either.
No, I don't think they smoke them. What's the spread on this game?
I don't know.
7.5. So if that line was 9.5,
Wow.
I'd still take the Jets.
I think I would take the Broncos at 7.5. I'll be real.
Yeah, I think
What?
I'd take the Broncos 7.5.
I think I will. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting week.
A little Bo Nix magic.
I like where we zagged here. This is interesting. Vikings Packers, we actually already talked about. We actually already made our calls on this. I think I would take the Vikings. Bobby would. Did you say you would just take the Vikings and Mike would take?
Yeah,
the
Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steelers Colts. Steelers win that. I think that's pretty clear. The Colts beating the Bears obviously isn't fucking anything.
Line only being at 1.5 is wild to that game.
That is, well, I think every Steelers game has been so close. Every Steelers game has been they leave it tight, every single time. So I do think that line is low, but I guess Vegas hasn't decided at all that the Steelers offense is coming to the party here. Rams Bears. I have a really bad feeling this is going to be like the magnifying glass to our coaching disabilities that we have this season in Chicago, because I really think McVay is a really, really, really good coach. What he does in crisis situations, like how good he makes guys that come into the team, like I like the decision making across the whole game. I think he's always got something up his sleeve, and he's basically the opposite to Eberflus in almost every single way. So
if the Rams are good, this is like 24-3. Somewhere through the third quarter.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I think you're underrating the Bears defense a little bit, considering there's no Puka.
All right,
no
17-3.
Well, that's it. I mean, I could see that. I could see 14 to 17 points, because I do think the Bears defense is good, but I need the offense to at least try something different in Chicago. They have to just try to do something different. If they do the same shit and they get out coached again, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be really, really ugly for Caleb and everybody else. And I don't want to be involved in those conversations after that.
It's what it might be, though. It's what it might be.
Eagles Bucks, Mike. I'll come to you first on this, because you seem pretty high on the Eagles. Pretty high on the Bucks and a little bit low on the Eagles. Is it enough to say you would take the Bucks in a situation like this?
Yeah, I think the Bucks
is in Tampa.
What they did last year in the playoff game. I think they're just a team that's well equipped to handle whatever the hell's going on. Yeah. But Saquon, though, like he is such a difference maker.
I know.
Yeah, so I would take the Bucks in this game. But
I have a really good feeling about them this week. I don't know what it is. I just think the Eagles are like primed to lose to a team that takes advantage of situational football.
No,
it's in Tampa.
No, it's in Tampa, and I think the Bucks are really primed to take advantage of mistakes.
It's home dogs though, right?
Yeah. Tampa are the dog, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I like the Bucks this week. I would probably take them on any spread. Something about it. It's just it's screaming to me right now. Parlay it with the 49ers beating the Patriots, because I think if we have to go through that again, Mike might punch me in the face through the camera.
10 point spread.
10 point spread.
High enough.
10. Wow.
I would actually stay away from that spread bet. Not to say I'm not saying bet the Pats to cover the spread. I'm saying stay away, because that's just too big of a spread to risk. I know that you're probably right. They probably will lose by more than 10, but it's just not a smart gambling maneuver. My gamblers know what I'm talking about. Cardinals Commanders, feisty as fuck. I'm gonna name
Feisty Bowl. Yeah,
our Feisty Bowl this week for sure. This is our Fiesta Taco this week for sure. I think I'm really looking forward to this game. Actually, I think I'm gonna main screen this one. Cardinals, frisky, moving around, mobile quarterback with a cool weapon that's looked pretty good over the past couple of weeks. Same description for the Commanders. Same description. So it's kind of probably going to come down to defenses. If the Commanders are as electric as they were this week, they're winning. So I'm going Commanders probably at least for the next few weeks before Kingsbury decides to set a comically sized TNT bomb in his own offense. Where do you guys land on this one?
I mean, I think this all lands on the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? We got the Kyler Jaden matchup.
Marvin Harrison.
Who do you trust more? You trust Kyler or Jaden Daniels?
Where is it?
Kyler.
Arizona.
I trust Kyler more, but I think I trust the weapons.
It's a tough call.
Yeah, it is tough call.
It's a tough call. I would probably bet on the Cardinals going into this week. Mike, it sounds like you probably bet on the Commanders.
I bet on the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going Commanders. I'll take the Commanders.
Okay. Just to be a contrarian, I'll do the Cardinals, because when you asked who I trust more, That connection's getting better by the week. Chiefs Chargers. I wish this was a more interesting conversation, but it doesn't look like Herbert's going to play. So I really think if he had stayed in the game,
or Bosa, or the two tackles,
Bosa, yeah. I mean, best case scenario for Harbaugh for a situation where he's probably going to have a losing record across 5 games was always going to be because of injury, right? So I think we can see that Harbaugh is a 10,000 times better coach than the regime they had in Los Angeles for the Chargers last season. That was the worst coaching situation I think I've ever seen. Harbaugh's clearly a good coach. I think he's got a long way to go with that team. They're definitely going to lose to the Chiefs. No one here is calling the Chargers. We might have a conversation about it. You know, there is some weird Pat Mahomes stats that came out this week, but I'm reticent to bring them up. I don't know if you guys saw them at all.
No, I think we do this every goddamn year.
That's why I'm reticent to bring them up. That's why I'm
so stupid, and I'm just so sick of doing it.
One of the stats that I saw was like in his past 11 games, he hasn't thrown for like more than 300 yards, and like these are his touchdown stats in his past 11 games. And I'm like, one of those games is him winning a Super Bowl.
And him having
one of those 11 games,
bro. Like, yeah,
one of those games is him winning the whole thing. So, and a lot of those other games are him winning winner go home games. So I don't know. Like, I read stats like that, and you're right, Bobby. Like, it's just I read them, and that's why I say I'm reticent to bring them up, because I'm just like, I don't think it matters. So yeah, the Chiefs,
if they win another Super Bowl, I'm like, all right, I think we're just done having a show.
I just think that, like, I'm glad that we bailed early on the people that were mistaking their hope that wouldn't be the next dynasty with like actual analysis, right? So we were all kind of hoping that we wouldn't see the Chiefs like just start to really dominate and get to that point, but now that we've seen it, at least we jumped off the bus early. I mean, I did the same thing with the Pats, you know, like I stopped hoping against them, and it made my credibility go up because I stopped being super fucking wrong all the time. Like, where it was just like, I don't know, I think they're probably going to win because they always do. And then there you go. So let's not bring down the whole house of cards of the entire podcast network here. But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are going to win that game. Raiders, Browns. I don't want to know actually who wins. I don't actually want to know anything about that game. Don't tell me anything about it. Keep it off of red zone. It'll keep itself off of red zone. That game's going to keep itself off of red zone. I'll
watch it be the highest scoring game of the week. I know always fucking happens.
I'll take the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders.
Browns. Stop. It's the Browns. You know it. You just know.
Fuck
you both just told me. No, hold on. I know, but this is I do because of what I value your opinions, both of yours, and you both just told me 45 minutes ago that the Raiders and you can't lose to them team, and you think that the Browns are going to do that.
Yeah, can I just actually use that point to make my current point about this matchup? They are the can't lose to them team, and it would be just like the Browns to lose to them. I'm taking the Raiders. This is in the Browns' DNA is to lose to the you can't lose to them team. That's what they do. The Browns' new identity
I hope
we should be good, but we're not. You know? Oh, that's a depressing game to talk about. I really took the win out of myself.